Hey guys, Don here. Welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery, where I'm trying to help you get to the $1 million mark. I'm going to give you a little bit of feedback so far from what I call the $1 million mini course. So I'm kind of doing a beta phase right now for this course. It is a course I sent out. If you're part of my email list, um, you got an invitation to do an early register for it, and I did have some people register for it. And so this first group I'm doing kind of just to see how it goes. And the idea is helping people over a number of weeks with kind of some, basically I'm doing a video a week, and we have a lot of content. And basically it is the main points that have helped me specifically get past the $1 million mark in my office and in my production, and I wanted to help others that are maybe under that mark or that are around the same, and they just want to kind of see what others are doing. I originally emailed everyone that's on the list. So if you're not on the list, you can go to podiatrypracticemastery.com, get one of my free downloads, and then you'll get my future emails to be part of it. But I'm doing it a little bit different this time. This $1 million masterclass, basically, it's a slide deck on Google Slides, and that's where I put all the content, and then I'm doing one video a week. But everything, all the conversation has been via something called WhatsApp. So I'm kind of learning about this. Now, WhatsApp is great. I use it. I like it much more, in my opinion, than Facebook groups because I don't use Facebook, so I didn't want Facebook groups. There's LinkedIn groups, but I don't use LinkedIn that much. I do use WhatsApp, so that's why I wanted it there versus like a text message group or anything else. And so what happened is on the slide deck, I sent it out to everyone, and then there was a link that you click this link about the WhatsApp group, and you could join the group, so you had to ask for permission to join. And then there's also like a vault, I call it, like the document vault, where I put all the documents that we're kind of talking about, the resources and things like that. So far, there's about five, I think there's five, maybe six people in the group. Pros and cons, kind of the good thing so far. I'm liking it. There's like camaraderie. Doctors seem to be interested in it. It's a forum that's a little bit more open, that we can ask questions. It's a little bit easier than email because emails is one-to-one or a group to one-to-one to a group, whereas this WhatsApp, other people can participate. I think the downside is not everyone's familiar with WhatsApp, and so I think getting people to join or come into the group was a little bit challenging. People didn't know how to just click it and join the group. Some might not have had group WhatsApp accounts. But so far, it's been good. So there have been some good questions. There's one doctor that's kind of just starting out in July with a new practice. There's another one that's been in practice for 10 or 15 years. And it's nice. So we're kind of going through things. And then I'm going through the first video I did up to this point was just an intro video, kind of talking about why I put it together. And then I have like tons of links for anyone that just has time. They can go through these links. But I find this whole smorgasbord method is a little bit overwhelming for people. If it's a smorgasbord, no one knows what to do, and so there's just too many items. I think that's, if I could critique one of my own productions, would be the Practice Mastery Academy. I think it's certainly worth it at $97 a month. So I would recommend you join it, but it's like a smorgasbord. So unless you have a disciplined system of going through it, which I would say like take an hour every week and go through some of the content or one of the webinars, or just kind of have your own study time or marketing time, that's what I would recommend. I find a lot of people don't do that, and because of that, they just get overwhelmed, and they only like kind of pick through what they wanna learn about, and it gets a little bit overwhelming. Whereas with this course, what I'm doing is I'm posting one video a week with homework, and this video is going to be about different things. Like the first one was intro. The second one's about knowing your numbers, and part of the knowing your numbers is going to be for everyone in the group to post what their number of patients were for the day, and then what their high ticket items are, and then what their most valuable patient is. So basically, it's a simple post every day. How many patients you saw. So for example, me, I had a half day today because I'm actually on my way to go to my strategic coach session in Toronto. But I had 14 patients. I didn't do any EPAT. I didn't do any orthotics. So those are my two tickets that I kind of look at every day. And then my most valuable patient I put on there was a patient with a kind of semi-rigid hammer toe that had an ulcer on the tip. We tried to offload it, didn't work. And then we did an ulcer debridement and then a flexor tenotomy, and the decision for that flexor tenotomy as well today, that office procedure. And then he's going to get x-rays at the follow-up in 3 weeks. or 2 weeks. And so that one for me, that was my largest check, and I kind of told that to the group. So it's kind of a neat thing. There's some accountability there, which I think is going to be good for me and for everyone else. And then kind of guiding everyone to that one video a week, I think it'll make it a little bit more manageable and what people are going to focus on. And I try to, part of the challenge is getting to 1 million is, you might be already there, but I find getting there, you have to kind of sift through the weeds of what's really important. And then you also have to not get bored with keeping your eye on the prize. I tend to find we get very, very distracted with other things, with new ideas, and we don't like make full use of what we have. Let me give you a couple of examples. For me, really, the main revenue generators right now in my practice are orthotics and shockwave, and that's why I'm kind of focusing. To a lesser extent, amnio, because I don't do a ton of that, but shockwave, orthotics, AFOs a little bit, and then Swift will be, I think, in the future. And so I always try to kind of focus in on that. What does that mean, focusing? Well, it means that's kind of your focus with patients, and that's what you speak to, that's what you market to, that's what you do your YouTube videos about, that's what you send out in your newsletter, that's what I think a lot of times we get more tired before the patients get tired, and that's kind of one thing that I'm going to be talking about in this $1 million mini course. So the thought is, once this mini course is done, I'm going to offer it to kind of other people. I think I was really looking for this group approach, and I think this WhatsApp is working. The only downside to WhatsApp is the groups are limited to 2,000 people, but I think even more than 20 or 30 would be overwhelming because not many people participate. And so I think having a smaller, tightly knit group is going to be a little bit better. So I think it'll work this way. So anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts if you are in any other groups, or what. I would really like you to know if you could email me, Don at podiatrypracticemastery.com. What's the one or two things that helped you get past the $1 million mark, if you're past the $1 million mark in your personal production? And like for me, really the number one thing, and I'm going to harp on, which unfortunately a lot of people aren't going to do because it took me a long time to do it, was to get a scribe. Really, the scribe has been just my ability to increase like $200,000-$300,000 a year in my revenue, only because I'm more relaxed. I can kind of focus more and not have to worry about all the ancillary things. But I'd like to know what's kind of helped you get past the $1 million mark. What are the things that are working really well for you in your practice? Tell me, so I can kind of share it with the group. That's the nice thing about this group. I think everyone seems to be pretty nice, wanting to help each other, wanting to learn. So if you found this beneficial, let me know. Okay, thanks, guys.